Hey, thanks for joining. It's Patty, and today we're going to make this pretty card with the deer using the Nature's Beauty stamp set. And I got this idea from my friend, Vicki Parsons. She's from the Paper Connection, and she made this card, and you'll see that the flower is, or the floral piece is kind of inlaid, and this is popped up. So I had the same idea. I love the crackle paint, and I decided to do it with a deer from this. So you can use any of the animals, but I thought the deer fit in this pretty well. So the first thing we're going to do is get my Stamparatus out. If you don't have this, this is a great tool, especially for something this big. I mean, they do have the block for this, but I have to tell you, it is hard to manage and then get it on the paper and you can't see. So I took that tip from Vicki to put it in your Stamparatus, and I like to put mine in this area so it really gets a good covering. And what I did was I put my cardstock down and I measured where I wanted it. I actually put this down first and then decided where to put the cardstock. So this is a stamp placement tool, and it's really great if you're making multiples of the same card, because you can just stamp and stamp and stamp, and it's always in the right place, as long as you put your cardstock in the right place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cardstock right here, and I'm not going to put the magnet on. I have it down here. I do not have that foam pad because I'm using a red rubber stamp. If you're using photopolymer, you need to have the red, not the red, the mat that goes under here to give it a little cushion. The red rubber stamps has that cushion built in already. And then I like to put a stamp case right here, just so when I'm inking it up, and I'm hoping you can see this. Am I in camera here? Okay. So I like to be able to press down on it without having it, having it flat. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to use crumb cake ink, and I'm going to ink this up really good. The other good thing is if you didn't ink it up enough, you can stamp right over again, because your cardstock, your layer, is going to be right in the perfect place to stamp and stamp again. So I think this is pretty good. I'm going to close this up, and then what I'll do is I will just, and you don't want to move this, you want to keep it in the same place, and just press it down. Make sure you have good, I mean, this is a big stamp. Make sure you have it really pushed down in every part of it. And pick it up. See, now this is perfect. If it wasn't, I could ink it up and come right back again, and this would be in the perfect place. So let's get rid of the Stamparatus. I also wanted to mention that with the Stamparatus, one of the things you can get is this small graph paper, which is really nice. It's nice to just use on its own, but it's very, very nice to use in the Stamparatus. So let me just close this up and move it aside. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to use this one I made Happy Birthday. The one I'm making right now, I'm going to use Thinking of You from the Woven Heirloom. So that's why I have this guy out. So let's get our Big Shot out, and I'm using the stitched nested labels. I'm going to use this size, the second largest, and cut it right here. And then I'm going to turn that piece over and stamp on the back of it. So it's a little bit of a paper saving tip as well. So let me get my Big Shot. I use the Big Shot. Stampin' Up is going to come out with a new die cutting tool. I'm not sure exactly when, but they've been talking about it. So they don't carry this anymore. Until they do, I'll be using this, and then I'll see what they come out with. So I want to have this nice and centered, top to bottom, side to side. I'll put my other plate on it, close it up, and then I'll run it through. And I'm just going to do it slowly so I don't shake too much. Okay. There we go. I wanted to have it come out so you could see it. Okay, so I have my piece. That's the inside. This is the outside. And let me put this away. Okay, So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp the deer. Now if you, this is kind of the other side, if it bothers you that it's the reverse side with these dots, I think it's fine. But if it bothered you, you could actually line this up again and run it through. You really have to line it up perfectly and get everything in the right grooves. You can run it through and it would be like the top side. But it's fine with me. It doesn't bother me at all. So let's get our deer, and I'm going to stamp him in Early Espresso. And I'm just going to try to get him in the center. I think he's so beautiful. So, and I think I mentioned this in my last video using this. This stamp set is in the holiday catalog. It's on the very last page. And Stampin' Up! Is donating $3 to mental health institutions. I'm not sure exactly what, for every set that they sell. So I think that's a really good, good thing that they're doing. And I'm very happy that they're doing that. Okay, let's get Mossy Meadow. You could barely tell this is green for this little bit of grass, but it is green. It's very dark. And I'm just gonna kind of stamp around. Okay, so he's in a field of grass. Let me put one more up here. Okay, that's done, and we can stamp our sentiment. So let me get that. So these are my pieces. So again, this is the card that she did. So she just did the same thing I did, but cut a piece of designer series paper. And you could do anything. You could put the bird pattern in here or whatever else you want. It's a really cool card. So this one I'm doing a little bit wider. So this is a 1/2 inch and this is a 1 inch. And I just save my scraps. Whenever I cut my paper, I always save my scraps, and they're great for banners. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment, and I'll do that in Early Espresso. This would be a great guy card, masculine card. The happy birthday one, and the thinking of you is also, I think, with the deer. But it could be for a lady as well. Okay. I love this stamp set. I love the sentiments and the script. The font on it is very pretty. And while we have this out, let's do the inside. So on the inside of this, I just put a little bunny rabbit and Time to Celebrate. For this one, I'll put the bunny rabbit on, but I'm not going to do an inside sentiment. So we'll just get this little rabbit. You could put the fox in. I was corrected the last one I did. I kept calling this a wolf, and somebody told me it's a fox, and of course it's a fox, but in my mind I thought it was a wolf, so I stand corrected. Let's see, so we've got our pieces. What I want to do is I'm going to, where am I? My card base. So this is crumb cake. I'm going to pop this up, and then I will have this one go flat, so there's a little bit of dimension to it. So let me get my, I'm going to just step away for 1 second. I want to get the strips. You can pop it up with dimensionals, but these strips, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. These strips, they're foam adhesive strips, and they're really great. They're really, I think, meant for shaker cards, but they give you a little bit more height, and for something this big, it's pretty good to use. So I just cut mine, and you don't have to go end to end. And it's just like a dimensional. You double-sided sticky, but see, they're thick, so it gives you even a little bit more height. And I may put some extra pieces around. Let's see. This is very narrow place here. And one more. And actually, I think that's enough. I could squeeze pieces in there, but I don't think I need it. So I'm going to take the backing off of this. I'll take my card base, and I just want to get it nice and centered. Okay, then I'll adhere this. I didn't want to put this down first because I wanted to make sure I get it in the right spot. So I'm going to use a little liquid glue. You can use the glue or adhesive of your choice. I like this because I can maneuver it a little bit before I commit. See, it gives me a little bit of time to scrunch it around here. Isn't that cute? This is even more, because I use the strips, there's a little bit more depth. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I think I like this one better. It's kind of a frame. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, see, this is a little wider. I like the narrow, but I wanted to use the sentiment. So I'm going to use my banner triple punch. This is what I like to use, and I just put it in, so it's this way, right in here, and you could put any size in here. I like to push it all the way through to see where my writing is, and then I can try to punch it out. There you go. And then on this side, I'm not going to punch it, I'm just going to cut it. But I didn't want to cut it until I knew how long I needed it. So let me get my scissors. And this is kind of long, so I don't know how straight I'll be, but if it's not straight, I will cut it with my trimmer. I think that's pretty good. Now I'm going to put adhesive over here, and I think I might put something in the middle, just so that it doesn't kind of sag. So I'm going to cut one of these little pieces. See, it just cuts very easily. And just stick that right in the middle, just to give it a little bit more secure, so it's not saggy. Okay, so now, I hope I'm in camera here, I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on this end and in this, and then we'll stick this on. And then you have to figure out where you want to place it. So I'm going to place it right here. See, now I got that guy in there. And then we'll do the inside, the little rabbit. And then we're done. I think you could put some, you know, sequins or rhinestones or something like that. I am going to put this on, this little embellishment. But I thought for a guy, I don't like to sparkle it up too much for a guy. And I really think I'll use both of these for guys. Okay, so let me get this little piece. 1 second. Thought I had it. Oh, I do have it. So these are the designer elements, and you get them in gold and silver and copper. So I used copper on this one. I think I'm going to use gold on this other one. And you get, what do you get? 36 pieces. So it's pretty good, and they're really pretty. And they're there's a lot of weight to them for the size that they are. They're a little hefty. So let me get my little picket tool. And they are self-adhesive. So I'm going to just put that right here, just to add a little something extra. And there you go. So these are the two cards. I'm going to mess over here. But I think they're really pretty. I love the deer. Let me know which one you like better, the thicker Thinking of You or the Happy Birthday. And thanks for joining, and come back again and visit next one. Take care. Bye.